Hello guys, today we will be discussing about the tags which are used to embed any content from other websites. Okay, so this iframe tag is used to embed, okay, or import any third-party website content on your website. Okay, so we all see YouTube videos, okay, or we see content from some other website, content from some blogs, okay, and if we want to embed that content, particular content, okay, not whole website, okay, I'm talking about specific part of that website, okay. So if you want to embed some specific part of any third-party website, you can embed it in your website through iframe tag. Okay, so this is specifically used to embed. So and we no need to so what is the use or advantage of it? So using this iframe tag, what you are doing, you are embedding some other website content, so you no need to create that functionality on yourself. Like if I want to embed some YouTube video, I don't need to create YouTube function, YouTube like functionality or YouTube like UI, okay, user interface. Okay, I already have that things developed by Google developers, so I will use that frame, actually the website specific website content, so it will be save my work. Okay, as a developer it will save my work, and we will see how to do this. Okay, so like I go to YouTube. So so here directly they have give you can use this link option, okay, or there is a embed option also. They specifically give this embed option. If you click on it, so you will see it is using this iframe tag. Okay, it is using iframe tag, so we just need to copy this iframe tag, okay, and use it in our website. So this particular content of YouTube video, okay, will be available to you on your website with all those functionality which is available on YouTube, like share button, watch later, and or other functionality like controls like play, stop, play with speed, whatever speed, if you desire speed, whatever you want. Okay, so I can copy this thing, go to my Visual Studio Code and just paste it. Okay, so I will explain you these things, what it signifies. So it is kind of very similar to other tags only. So first you will see the attribute like width and height. So this is defining the width and height of that HTML element. Okay, whatever we are importing, whatever we are embedding from YouTube, how much space it will take. So that we are defining here. Next thing is the link. Okay, this is the link, a destination from where we need to store, or what we can say, import that particular document. So on this location, on this URL, we have that video and we are trying to import that video or embed that video in our website, on our own website. Then title, again we all know that it is related to tooltip. So whenever we hover on some element, it shows us tooltip, and on the tooltip it will have this content. Okay, then next things are like basically what border you will require. Okay, if you want thick border, thin border, or no border, like this. And other things are like extra parameters, okay, which you can what you can say ignore, or if you want you can add it. So it is like want to add accelerometer, like how the width size and how the width port is, means if user is using in normal mode or in horizontal mode, like this autoplay, means it should be played automatically or not, like these other things are available. And allow full screen attribute. So actually this is used to so we can move our content in a full screen mode if it is requested by this method. Okay, this is JavaScript method. Okay, so if this is this if we put this attribute, okay, allow full screen, and we need to give the control to the user. Okay, and through that control we should call this method request full screen. So only after calling this method, that particular content which we are embedding will be enlarged and it will be shown full on our user screen, full on our user screen. Else it will be shown in this dimension. Okay, so let's see. I will save this and we'll see it on our browser screen. So see, I commented all other code. So this is coming from YouTube with giving option like subscribe, watch later option, share it, watch on YouTube. So if you click on it, it will redirect to you on YouTube page where this content will be played. Okay. So if I click on this, so you will see all the content is all the controls we have, like mute option, then subtitle option, we have setting option. Using that we can control the playback speed. So if we go and try to develop these things, Okay, it will take some time, but we already have YouTube where all these functionality are already implemented. So why not just embed the YouTube part, okay, in our website directly? So what we can do, if we are going to create SVGI website, okay, for our institute, if you want to create the website, what we will do, all the videos we already have share on the YouTube. Okay, we have already uploaded all the videos. So we will just use the embed option, okay, share embed option, and we'll put it on our website. So people can directly watch this video on YouTube itself, okay, or they can just go to redirect to the YouTube page also, or directly watch from our website with the same functionality which is available on YouTube. So this is one thing. Other aspect will be if you are a store owner or if you are an enterprise owner where you have your website, so you want to give the direction, okay, or map feature. So what you will do, you will just directly go to Google Maps, okay. So we will consider, okay, so this is your place, okay, just for consideration. So you will see here it is a link, then embed a map, okay. So you will copy this HTML, fine, and we'll put it in our website. So again, what happens, we are using the Google Maps functionality on our website, so it will be easier for the end user, okay, to access our store through Google Maps only. So they can easily check this map, okay, and understand where our shop is located. See, it embed that map into our website with all the option like shop name, proper address with reviews, and here it is giving a control scroll to zoom in and zoom out like this. So it is used to just embed some part of your website, okay, some part of a third party website. If you try to embed whole website, okay, it is not possible. It is denied by their developers to directly import whole website, okay. You can't import whole website of the other website, okay, third party website. You can just embed small part of it, like this one video or this one location, you can embed it, but you can't just directly embed whole website, correct. So this is against the policy, and also to prohibit other developers to use whole website, they put something like some functionality where they mention that it is a denied feature, okay. So it is not required to think right now, but I'm just telling you that developers like for Google, so Google developers make a note, or what we can say, they programmatically maintain that other people, okay, other people from around the world should not directly embed their whole website in another website, okay. So they just want other people to take small part of their website, like share location or share video, and this is the real use of iframe, okay, just to keep embed the small part of a third party website, okay. So here also we will be having other things like fallback content. So again, iframe tag is available, and if this iframe tag is not compatible with some browser, like I said, Internet Explorer, okay, older versions of Internet Explorer, if this iframe tag is not compatible with that browser, so this content will show a fallback content to the user. So it will be like map of R City Mall, you can check here, okay, and you can put, so you can put this link here. So I will put like this. So if the iframe is not compatible, so that browser will not load this map, okay, it will not load this map, and then that particular fallback content, which is this one, that map of R City Mall, and you can check here. So it will redirect to Google Maps, you all know. So at least that Google Map will be loaded in the older browser, and they can see this content, okay, and they can visit your shop easily. So this is the objective behind using this fallback content, okay. So now we will discuss about some small thing on the iframe. So you should always go for iframe whenever there are really need of it, okay, wherever there are need of it, because what happens, there are security concerns present with using iframes, okay. So attackers, okay, means like website attackers, cyber criminals, try to create the invisible page on your embedded content. Okay, they try to create the embedded frames, okay, on the authenticate page, and it feels like it are like transparent pages. Okay, so where end user feel like you are interacting with authenticate page, but actually you are interacting with their cyber criminal created page. Okay, they have created transparent pages, and on that page you are interacting and giving your confidential data. So uh, it is called as clickjacking. So you will understand through Wikipedia, because here I feel like it is better to understand. So you will see this is the main what we can say, this is the content. Okay, you have won a new phone, claim your price, but actually behind the scene invisibly you are trying to put confirm a bank payment. Okay, so you put all your bank related details and you try to claim your price, but actually you are doing a bank payment. So here user is presented with false interface where their input is applied to something they can't see. So it is invisible on your main content. So attackers try to do this image, what we can say, interface through these iframes, okay, using the vulnerabilities present in your websites. Okay, vulnerabilities means if you don't follow proper security principles, so there will be some security vulnerabilities, and those are exploited by the cyber criminals, and they create some false interfaces, and you put so your data and you think that you are interacting with some other element, but behind the hood you are interacting with their false content. So this is a concern, security concern with iframe tags. Okay, with this actually other things are also there. So I will share with you another thing. W3 School. So see, here they are giving us code panel, okay, or coding place, okay, where you can code your anything functionality. You can put your code and then run it, okay. So this is again what we can say one section. And if you are going to create any educational site or educational website where you also want to put such kind of content, okay, so you might use like if W3 school is offering their embedded content, so you can just copy their iframe element tag and just paste it in your website. So your website will have same coding functionality like W3 School, and you can directly take help of W3 School to have coding panel on your website. Okay, but now thing is you are giving end user, okay, user of your website to code something on your panel. Okay, so these changes whatever user is putting, this should be applied to this panel only, to this particular content, and it should not be executable outside outside this content, outside this coding panel. Okay, other functionality, other website pages should not be affected by this coding. Okay, because what happens, cyber criminals will put some malicious code. Okay, they can put scripts, okay, JavaScript, okay, any JavaScript code they can put here with their links. Okay, they can okay, sorry, means they can put some JavaScript code here, and using that JavaScript code they can steal your information. Okay, they can steal your information. So if we apply some attribute, okay, that is sandbox attribute. Okay, sandbox attribute, so all the changes done on this coding platform, okay, will be available to this coding panel itself. Those changes will not affect your other browser, other web page content. Okay, so iframe have one more attribute, that is sandbox. Okay, so see, it applies extra restriction to the content in the frame. The value of attribute can either be empty to apply all restriction, or space separated tokens to lift particular restriction. So if I don't mention anything, okay, so it will apply all restriction, or else I can put specific things, okay, specific restriction that will be removed. Okay, those restrictions will be removed. So like allowing pop-ups. Okay, so you might have known most of the website block the pop-ups. Even our Chrome has block pop-up policies are blocked here. I go to settings. Yeah, see, pop-ups and redirects block. Okay, adds block. So these are the functionality available on browser also, and even you can restrict those things on your iframe also. So people, it will restrict the changes. Okay, whatever if cyber criminal try to put on your iframe, okay, they will be restricted to this iframe itself, and it will not impact other web page content. Okay, so always try to put this sandbox attribute, okay, with iframe if you want to put more security on your iframes. Okay, so this is the related to iframes we covered. It is to embed third-party website content, a small website content, okay, and not whole website to your own web page. This is the purpose behind the iframe. Now we will move towards other part. So there are two types of images. Okay, we saw that how we can import the images. Okay, but there are two types of images we know actually or used by developers. So there is raster images and then SVG images or vector images. Okay, so just understand that sorry, raster images and vector images. So that whatever images we imported previously, like in PNG format or in other format, okay. So these are raster images, and the images with extension .svg, okay, means I will put images with PNG or .jpg or .jpeg are all raster images, and vector images are with extension .svg. Okay, so what is the difference between two? So raster images use the pixels. Okay, like we all know pixels, like it will be like this much space, and then it will be like which pixel should be placed on where and what color should be at that place. Okay, it will be like which pixel should be placed on where and what should be the color. So this image, okay, raster images contains the information where each pixel should be located and what color should be there. Okay, and for vector images they are created algorithmically and where shape and path is described. Okay, where shape and path is described. So we will see how we can create the SVG images. Okay, so it is pretty similar like HTML, but actually we use XML, again another markup language, to create the SVG. And people preferably use SVG. So we have 2 stars here. Okay, so it will look good right now. It is fine. Both the stars are identical. But if I try to zoom in, okay, you will see the difference. So I think it is clearly visible. The one which is on left side is pixelated or blur. Okay, but the one which is away on the right hand side, it is very good and very crisp and clear. Okay, so the one which is which is at the left hand side is the raster image, okay, created with pixel, where it is already mentioned where the pixel should be there and what color. So what happens when we zoom in? So it tries to uh, increase the space of that pixel, means it tries to accommodate more and more pixel. Okay, while this one is algorithmically coded, means it will be mentioned that how much space should be present, means in scalable manner. Okay, you will understand, okay, how to create it. So I will show you. So it is like we use XML language, okay, another markup language, to create the these vector images. Okay, so I will show you. So here I need to use SVG. So you will feel like I'm writing HTML, but no, I'm writing in XML, but it is pretty similar, both of them. Okay, so it is tag I'm using SVG and closing tag and opening tag. Okay, now here what I need to put, I want to create a rectangle equal to width 100%. So we use scalable properties, means 100% or 50%. So it will be very easy to manage those images with zoom in and zoom out. Okay, then height equal to again 100% I will put, and then it will be like whatever things you would like to put, means color what you would like to put. So black, okay, and this will be close. So same I will be putting for circle, where I need to put like circle and give green. Okay, so this part is that what I need to show it. Okay, the next thing is like main size of that SVG. Okay, main size of that SVG. So whatever size, okay, will be taken, 100% will be taken by rectangle. Okay, another I will put, sorry, here it will not be width and height as it is circle, sorry. So it will be like radius, okay, for it, and it should be 90, we can put like 90 pixel. Okay, and here X and Y means where it should be located in the SVG. So we want this rectangle should be placed inside the, we want this circle to be placed inside the rectangle. Like I will put drawing. So we have this rectangle, and then we want this circle like this inside this rectangle. So as this rectangle will take whole space, 100% width, 100% height, and I provided radius for that circle, that is 90. Okay, but where it should be placed inside the image. Okay, where it should be placed inside this image. Okay, so I am giving, this is y-axis, this is x-axis. So from x-axis where it should be present, somewhere here in the middle, and on y-axis where it should be present, so that I need to provide it. Okay, so for that we need to first understand that I am going to provide main width of the SVG image. So it will be like 300 and height will be 400. So I want that circle in the middle. So I will put Cx equal to width is 300. So I will put 150 and Cy equal to 200. So don't worry, I'm just showing you these things. It is not required you to create SVG. I'm just going through the how we create the SVG and what is we are trying to do. So I will try to create this one. Okay, and fine, I will just put it this much. We'll see if it works or not. Okay, that SVG doesn't available. I will put alt tag. Okay, so something is missing from side. Okay, let's directly copy it directly in our HTML. Yeah, okay, it is showing up directly. I think we'll see how we can use it from here also. So I directly imported this SVG. Okay, the background for rectangle is black and the circle is with green color. Okay, then it is present in the center. How I did it? First I defined the width and height of the SVG, that is width is 300, height is 400. So I know what should be the center point, okay, of the circle. So it will be in x-axis it will be 150, on y-axis it will be 200, and then I provide radius, that is 90. Okay, so if I try to zoom in, still it is clear. Okay, and if we try to zoom out also, the image is very much clearer. Okay, so the people try to use SVG images because they are very crisp and clear, because it defined with the programmatically with proper height and width, and not just like directly in what pixel it should be. Means pixel size is like changing every bit with zoom in and zoom out, so because of that it pixelated or blur, but with this case it is better and clear images. Okay, and that's it for today's session. Thank you guys.